international break. I thought we were boys. I thought we were brothers, bro. Last two breaks, we have Arsenal players scoring goals. Coming back, injuries. Everything's smooth. Obviously, don't get me wrong. We've had Arsenal players scoring goals. You had the Saka amazing finish. Eze's class finish. Zubimendi scoring for Spain as well. But Calafiori, before the first game was kicked for Italy, injured, sent back to Arsenal. And now Gabriel playing at home at the Emirates. Brazil versus Senegal, comes up with a abductor injury in his hip, which Ancelotti had to apologise at his press conference for, which doesn't give me a good sign. And now we've lost two of our starting players in our defence with 3 important games coming up after the break. Yes, we have the squad for it, but it's starting to give me that feeling that it's gonna, as we get the attack now, the defence is gonna start getting knocked. And this is what is giving me vibes of last season, and I don't like it. And I'm just gonna give you my reaction in this video. I'm just gonna give my thoughts of what's going on and why I just kind of this particular international break worried me. If you're new or returning, haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'm on the road to 2K subs. Smash the like button and comment down below what you agree or disagree with in this video. Calafiori obviously got sent back from the international squad. Apparently he had I think he had a hip issue too, which is funny. So it's both hips. So that's more fatigue thing, which is a bit worrying because as I said, I think me and Gunner Street have spoke about this many a time on our streams and our shows. Calafiori getting injured when he's going to international duty for Italy and not for Arsenal. That's what's really worrying. I think he stayed for the first game. Apparently he was training separately, and then he got sent home after the first game, as to reassess and rest. Obviously, the only bright spark in this is always the famous and beloved Hand of Arsenal, who's come out with a tweet, as you guys can see, saying Arsenal are very relaxed about the situation regarding Ricardo Calafiori. The Italian was sent home for precautionary reasons and reassessed and be reassessed by Arsenal next week. Of course, even if he has a little bit of a knock, you have the likes of Lewis Skelly and KAPE that can come in and provide that level of quality. Obviously, it does change maybe a little bit of dynamic because obviously Lewis Skelly is more of an inverted fullback, stays more in the midfield, while Calafiori is more of a chaos up and down type of player, and KAPE maybe the hybrid between the two. But with Gabriel potentially being down, does this bring the need for both of them, or does Mikel go more Mascara to go centre back? But at least they're a bit more relaxed with Calafiori, which means even if he is potentially missing the North London derby, maybe it's not too long term. Obviously, there's no update or news on the Gabriel injury, but it was all over the media yesterday. It was all over, obviously, Brazil, England. I'm pretty sure Mikel maybe could have been in that game since it was at the Emirates. I'm pretty sure if he was, he's gonna be sick to his stomach knowing that Gabriel is gone, because obviously he's been our best. Maybe arguably our best player this season, definitely our best defender, but it's also what he brings us in the opposition in the attacking box, from set pieces, from set pieces, from corners, from crosses. If he's up there, the threat and the fear that opponents have. It's not to say also don't have other weapons, especially if the likes of if Gokras is coming back, Havertz is coming back. You got Ben White back into the team. Saliba can step up, Mascara, Marino, but no one has that threat like Big Gabby, fam. So I'm a bit worried. Obviously, we'll see in the next coming days what the news comes up in terms of maybe the early thoughts about the extent of the injury and what it may be. Obviously, at least I guess the only kind of positive is not an injury that he's had before. If it was like a hamstring injury again, especially given the fact that he had hamstring surgery last season and he missed out majority of the season last season to that. And not last season, but obviously after the main part of what our season was going to be, he came off in that Fulham game before, the Real Madrid and PSG game. It's sad. Obviously, the only good things that Arsenal have kind of prepared for themselves for these type of scenarios, obviously employing Mascara and KAPE now, obviously having adequate coverage, for the defense and quality, so that we don't have to potentially rely on this. Obviously, I think there was I think Gabriel is our most paid player. He's played the most minutes this season, so I think it's not a surprise that a muscle pull injury is something that can happen. It can happen at any point in time, whether it happened for Arsenal or happened for Brazil. It would maybe bound to happen, especially with the intensity, the explosion that Gabriel plays with. But it's just sad, man, and frustrating, because obviously we know this is the last international break, and until March, so Arsenal it will all be in Arsenal's hands, innit? And a lot of our players coming back wants to kind of see some rotation and good usage, and now we've got to still wait for that. It's another thing that's a bit frustrating, and I'll talk on before I end this video, that Arsenal players, this is the 3rd international break. I don't think any of Brazil games were World Cup qualifiers. I'm pretty sure Brazil are qualified for the World Cup. That doesn't mean these players don't want to play for the internationals. a country, but you gotta measure it up, man. Is it really worth it? Do you know what I mean? Apparently, before the game, Gabriel was training separately to the other Brazilian players because of his load. So if you're already doing that, why the hell are you playing? Come on, Gabriel, man. You yourself, I know you guys, that maybe he's missed out on a lot of Brazilian teams, so he wants to get as many caps as possible. And I'm not going to discredit a player there. I know me, I would want to play football at every given time. But if I'm going for a league title, if I know I don't want to risk my body and all these things, I don't want to potentially jeopardize my team, you've got to take that responsibility, man. Because it's looking like Calafiori probably done that. Maybe he had a bit of fatigue, a little knock. You know, he just said, I'm not going to play. Obviously, Italy, I don't think they're fully qualified for the World Cup yet, so it's important games that he would have been able to play. But at the end of the day, you got to take your fitness into the hands, especially if you had a history of fitness issues. And Gabriel obviously had a hamstring injury last season, came back in pre-season, and then he had that little period where he missed, you know, the last couple of games of pre-season, where we saw Calafiori playing centre-back, and, those kind of things in the nature, you know, Kivio still around. So it's very, very worrying. Let's just say that. But let's see, hopefully it's not long-term, nothing too serious, and we can get Big Gabby back soon. Obviously, it's time for, you know, Luis Skelly to step up, and KAPE and Mosquera to step up, and obviously they're going to be main starters in the team. I'm very confident in their quality and what they can do. I just hope that, obviously, we just don't have a continuous of injuries, because obviously we do expect all of our attackers players, you know, Madueke, Gyökeres, Havertz, Martinelli, Odegaard, Jesus potentially to come back, you know, in this period. So we don't want to, you know, get all our attackers and then our defenders start dropping, and then you get that disbalance where you don't all have that full squad and this depth that everyone's talking about. We don't really get to see it in its full, you know, fruition. So it's just frustrating, but that's just the life of football, isn't it? Fingers crossed, obviously, there's another round of international games. No more Arsenal players get any injuries or any knocks. Obviously, Saka played 90 minutes for England. I'm hoping that he doesn't start today against Albania. You know, already qualified, you know, give Bowen a start. Come on, Tuchel, we don't need to run Saka into the ground. Same thing with Rice. Eze probably will start, we'll see. And obviously, yeah, you know, the likes of Timber, you know, Zubimendi, Marino, hopefully they can come back. Touch wood, pause, injury-free. So, yeah, man, comment down below what's your reaction to the Calafiori injury news, the Gabriel injury news. What do you think? Like, also players need to do a bit better, you know, this maybe that third international break, not necessarily force it. You know, speak to the, you know, coaches and say, fam, I have a bit of, you know, fatigue. Just be wary of it, or maybe just don't start me. Do you know what I mean? Because Gabriel doesn't start that game. Maybe he doesn't get that injury because he can come on, the game's a bit less intense. But yeah, it's been your boy KAPE Poser. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out all my content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Speak soon. Peace.